Hey everyone, Wazoo here, and this is a short video, I think, on the upcoming 7DRL Challenge 2023. Yeah, as of recording, it's late in February, and we only have a few weeks left, actually only like 1.5 weeks, until the 7DRL Challenge starts, the 2023 edition. So what is the 7DRL? So it is the 7-day roguelike. So here, what we've got our page on itch.io. It's a Gamejam page. So head over to itch.io Jam 7DRL Challenge 2023. I'll put a link for everything in the description down below. And this is a really fun competition that happens every year around this time. And the whole idea is to make a roguelike game within 7 days. So we have right here submissions open from March. Let's just blow this up a little bit. Submissions open from March 2nd, 2023 to March 12th, 2023 at 11 p.m. So the idea is that, we've only got 10 days before it starts. And so the idea is that you're challenged to create a complete roguelike game in 7 days for the 19th annual 7DRL challenge, which is really cool. Not only because it's been on for 19 years, but that means that next year it's going to be the 20th version. So I don't know what that means, but it's a pretty cool milestone to hit for a game jam. Read before joining. So let's go through some of these rules here. Rules, quote unquote rules. This is a long-running event, 19 years now, not your standard itch.io jam. Entries will be checked to make sure they comply with the rules and follow the spirit of the challenge. Do not submit your game, roguelike or not, if you developed it outside the time frame and are just trying to get some exposure. These entries will be immediately deleted at the discretion of the organizers. Do not submit your game if you have no interest in roguelikes and don't intend to learn about them, as evidenced by entries that lack any effort to contain elements of the roguelike genre. And we'll explore that link here in a minute. The community that loves this genre will spot your entry, and if the organizers determine that you had bad faith, your entry will be removed. However, don't be afraid of innovating. We welcome additions to the roguelike formula. Games that build on top of what a roguelike is and mix it with ideas from other genres are more than welcome. If you feel that your idea is at the boundaries of what a roguelike is, ask the organizers in the community forums. As a way to maintain the spirit of the challenge, this year we're also asking all entries to contain elements of procedural content generation that impact gameplay in a substantial way. Advanced algorithms are not required as long as you're providing a new experience with every run, but just placing enemies randomly in a fixed map may not cut it. If in doubt, ask the organizers in the community forums. Additionally, as a way to help with this filtering process, all entries will be required to add screenshots to their entry pages that help with the review process. Okay, that's new, or at least new to me. Maybe they've had these rules for the last couple of years, and at least those last few. Okay, history and rationale. So the roguelikes are traditionally procedurally generated role-playing games in the mold of Rogue, with turn-based interactions in a grid-based environment, where levels are procedurally generated each playthrough and death is permanent. In 2005, the roguelike community established a yearly event, the 7-Day Roguelike Challenge, in which developers are challenged to create a roguelike in 7 days. This allows one to have the shared misery of knowing you are not the only one rushing to patch game-breaking bugs at the 167th hour. The annual event occurs during a week in early March. 7DRL challenges are not about being a fast coder, but rather proving that you can release a finished playable roguelike to the world. There is no winner of the challenge, but rather all those who finish are honored for their work. The main criterion is completeness. There are many interpretations of what a roguelike is, which may serve as a guide. However, 7-day roguelikes may bend or even break these interpretations in the name of innovation. Event rules. You can use external libraries, game engines, pre-existing code algorithms, pre-existing art, etc. You can even start your game from an existing game if you are planning to turn it into something unique. If in doubt, be clear about what resources were reused. You can work solo or as part of a team. The goal is a finished and reasonably polished game, not the prototype of a game. Watch your scope. Likewise, the goal is a new game, not just another week of work on an existing game. That one's kind of a hard one to fight because it is tempting to use that week to work on maybe a project that you've had kind of brewing on your hard drive for the past year or so. It is allowed and recommended to have a rough design idea of your project before starting. Definitely recommend that. How to participate. Join the jam here at itch.io to show your intention to participate. And as of now, there are 701 people who have joined this competition, which is really cool. Let's see. Pick a start time on Saturday or Sunday in your local time. Start coding at this time. Note the countdown is likely before your possible start date. This is because we support all time zones. 168 or less hours after starting, submit your entry on the portal. You can mark your entry as successful or incomplete based on your own judgment of how complete your game is. There's no prize for success or punishment for failure, so use your own judgment if your game is done and polished. The challenge time window is always Saturday to Sunday. If you start after the first Sunday, you will have less than 168 hours, as in challenge 7D roguelikes must be completed by the closing time. Time frame. The 7DRL challenge has special rules regarding timing, so the normal itch jam time counter is not accurate. You have max 7 days to work on your game, and they have to be consecutive. The date you pick to start working must be between March 4th and March 12th in your local time. If you start on or after March 6th, you must still submit before March 12th's end of day, so you'll have less than 7 days to work on your entry. And there's a whole ton of resources here. Let's check them out. So we've got libtcod for C++ projects. And so this is a collection of tools and algorithms for developing traditional roguelikes, such as field of view, pathfinding, and a tile-based terminal emulator. And there should be some instructions in the README here on setting up libtcod with VC package, or just pulling it into your Visual Studio project for C++. There's also a library called rot.js, roguelike toolkit in JavaScript. This is another excellent library for developing roguelikes, and it's kind of a all-in-one utility to help you generate dungeon maps and display maps that you want to work with for roguelikes. So another one is T-Engine for Lua. I haven't used this one personally, but I have seen a lot of engines making use of it. It is admittedly looking like it's on like an old style website, but at the same time, it's a pretty cool utility, and it just works if you're into Lua. Okay, so other info. Stay up to date with challenge info by subscribing to the 7DRL mailing list. Post about your development efforts on the 7-Day Rogue Temple forums and the roguelike dev subreddit. And we can pop into that now. Join the roguelike Discord for live discussion. Check out this article by Darren Gray for a few pointers on how to succeed at the challenge. And we can also check out the 7-Day Roguelike episodes of Roguelike Radio, which is a podcast. Might as well open that one up too. So let's, okay, that one went to a dead link. Okay, so Roguelike Radio, this is a podcast about roguelikes. This is run by Darren Gray. And the last episode was on Friday, April 12th, 2019. So not quite current. I don't know if Darren is ever going to come back to making episodes or whether it was kind of just a break. I'm not too sure. So maybe, who knows, maybe this year he'll do an episode after the 2023 event wraps up. And this is the Roguelike Dev subreddit forum. And this is a great place, great resource to come to for discovering new libraries, new tutorials. There's a section here all about tutorials for making roguelikes, and all in different languages. So you've got options for C++, for Rust, for C Sharp, JavaScript, Java, HTML5, Unity, and Pico 8. There's even some tutorials on it, as well as Godot. So there's a whole bunch of, and of course Python. Python is pretty much the one of the main languages used by beginner developers that come to this forum at any rate. And there's another resource section down here where we have even more links that you might want to check out on developing your first roguelike, some tile sets that you might want to use if you don't want to use any letters, which is sort of a traditional approach from roguelike developers. Okay. So yeah, just to compare with the 2022 version, let's open that up. So in 2022, we had 198 entries, which is a lot. How much? I've already forgotten. How much are we comparing against? 701. 701 versus 198. So I think there were a similar number who signed up, but only entries are only counting the actual submissions, as far as I remember them doing the way they do jam stuff on itch. So 701 joiners, which is actually quite a huge amount. Okay, so yeah, so 198 entries from 2022. So yeah, so it's coming up fast. Let's see, is there anything else here? No, I think that's about it. So again, I'll put the links to everything in the description down below. And yeah, I really encourage you, if you enjoy game development or if you haven't heard of roguelikes, I'll be usually around the 7DRL window is I try to do a few more videos on roguelikes, and we go through, I don't think I'll have time to go through the 2022 entries. But once the 2023 challenge is wrapped up and completed, I'll be going through a lot of the entries, which look like a lot of fun from that. Yeah, and we'll discover a lot of these gems together. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, that's it for this video, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.